Welcome back to Speak Truth to Life, my little podcast where I spread a little of my thoughts. Story time. Some time ago, when I was a literary teaching artist on the south side of Chicago, I used to teach poetry with in a high school. And one day, um, I just happened to go into the attendance office to check in for the day and to make sure all my students would be there for the day. And while I was sitting there talking to the administrative staff, an older individual who came in there, bursting in there, and had an attitude and was basically like saying some disparaging things about a teenager at the school. Hold on to that thought. Story time again. At another time in the same high school, it was a nice little day. Um I was in between breaks and all of a sudden there was a fight and the kids ran. They were like, Miss, you gotta come see. I'm like, come see nothing. I went in the opposite direction and I took my grown self to sit my grown self down in the library book with the library kids. So I say that to say that as adults we have choices that we can make, and our young people are looking to us for guidance, for role models, or just they're looking at us. And even though sometimes they are going through things themselves, when they see us kind of like pulling our bootstrings up and acting like we got sense that the Lord gave us, or whatever being that you believe in, or just yourself, that it's like you don't have to act crazy. You don't have to burst into a attendance office as oh, a grown person saying that you got beef with a high schooler, right? You don't have to participate and sit around and watch somebody get go into a fight. You can go the opposite direction. Call it me being a punk. You could call it what you want to call it. I want to talk about briefly. This is a good segue into an unfortunate story that happened to two teenagers at a high school in Chicago. Um, this is a breaking story from a couple days ago. Two teenagers were killed and ambushed outside Innovations High School, located at 17 North State Street, um, downtown, like literally blocks from Millennial Park, where everybody goes to all the concerts. Apparently, they were on some kind of break, and they were leaving, the high school, and they were fatally shot and wounded and died in the middle of the day, right under a busy L station. Around 12:25 p.m., these two teens, ages 16 and 17, they were leaving that high school with four other people, and as the group was walking down the street, a vehicle came. One boy, each boy was shot in the chest. An older boy was shot in the hip. The coat of a woman standing nearby was grazed by a bullet, but she declined medical attention. Witnesses say they heard up to 20 shots. Just imagine 20 shots. And see, you know, the mayor of Chicago, he's been saying how he wants to work with young people and all that stuff, but we have to make young people accountable. Now, I don't know the full story about why these young teenagers died at age 16 and 17. Were they in the life? Were they in the street? Were they in a gang? Did they piss somebody off? But the brazen disrespect and lack of respect for life has got to stop. I do not go downtown anymore. Last time I went to downtown Chicago might be a year and a half ago, or at least a year and a half. And I used to love going downtown. I was like in Chicago Loop when it was safe and you ain't had nothing happening. You know what I mean? Now you don't know what's going to happen. I feel empathy for the family and prayers to the family. Let me know your thoughts about this violence. And it's black on black crime this time. So we can't blame nobody but ourselves, and in our communities. We got to do better, much, much better than this.